Aloha bitches. I uploaded an earlier version of this and I left it unlisted to review it. YouTube sent me an email that they removed the video because they found it was violating their community standards. So here is a carefully edited version, and on that other video I was showing memes that I guess might have been part of the problem. I'm not sure. So let's give this a shot. This is not a comics or Comicsgate related video, so if you're looking for that, find another video. This is a very special Bianca Presents, now with more tacos. If you want to learn more, click the links in the description. This is dealing with the culture war, titled Can America Be Saved? The biggest, well, those first two words are going to have to go. I'll say bad events that can occur to a group of people is happening right now. It's to the European people. Strap on your tinfoil hat, because while this sounds far out, most of you know it's true. The rise of the Groypers, Nick Fuentes, Charlie Kirk, and I'll edit all that stuff out about the gay black guy, and a bunch of pseudo-conservatives, sometimes called rhinos. As people are discovering, the conservatives aren't conservatives. What are they conserving? They allowed their country to be given away to a country south of the border, so big businesses could get cheap workers. The rich need gardeners, cheap construction, and unskilled or semi-skilled workers. They don't want to pay Americans who have strong unions and want safe working conditions and health care. So instead of paying an American, say, $50 an hour, they can pay a south of the border immigrant person half that, and they don't worry about safe working conditions. The wealthy even rent homes to these immigrants. To afford it, the immigrants just overload the house and place stress on the neighborhood. But the wealthy, censored, don't care because they don't live there. The immigrants don't care about the quality of life in the neighborhood because they don't consider America to be their home. They have kids who grow up resenting the Americans who seem to have it all. Partially aided by the censored liar warm tongues who whisper in their ear about the evil Americans. The second generation of immigrants grow up, form gangs, and censored, and cars in the neighborhood start getting broken into. Then homes. All the while, the neighborhood deteriorates, and censored the rest. I'll just say that they turn their new home into something resembling their old home. Soon there are home invasions, snuggles, and the cessation of human life. Second and third generation immigrants still don't speak English. They don't need to. They don't hang out with Americans. They don't assimilate. So why learn the language? Some of the DACA kids were here for 20 years and they never learned English. They go on welfare and don't pay for medical care because they don't pay for insurance. They spend their money on big screen TVs, cervezas, and cigarettes, and put rims on their Hondas, or they send their money home to their homelands while they leech off the American taxpayers. As the immigrants, can't say the R word. It means to substitute one group for another. The Euro-Americans, the tax base shrinks because the Euro-Americans pay the taxes while the immigrants go on welfare. Who brings the immigrants in? I don't know if I can say George Soros. I'll say it once. Foundation, the Marxists, the censored for open borders, they are censored who want to destroy America. Entire neighborhoods are speaking not English. Schools are strictly censored speaking. Soon the English-speaking Americans can't get a job because they don't speak censored. Entire cities are more censored than American. There are two Americas that never mix, the English and the censored. There are entire generations of immigrants who never learn English. The English stores get replaced with censored stores, as the English Americans are replaced with censored. The censored crime levels go up, but the media, which is controlled by censored, refuse to cover it. The university professors, who are all censored, teach kids that the Euro-Americans shouldn't form identity groups, but censored, and censored racial groups are perfectly fine. But European groups are strictly haram by those who control the narrative, the media. The mainstream media is 100% censored. Why do you think the media won't show the faces of black and brown criminals? Only the white faces. 90% of, can I say hate crimes? are black or brown on white. Most of the remaining 10% are hoaxes perpetrated by the censored. When, well, I'll just say, certain places of religious worship get, I'll say, Hindu symbols spray painted on them, half the time it's just a black kid. Half the time it's the censored himself, I'll say the leader of the religious organization. It's never a white kid. Remember the Covington Catholic kids? Why do you think a censored-controlled media lost their minds when the Catholic kids were the victims of a violent alcoholic liar? The media saw a white Christian and they knew they had to destroy him. Why did the media ignore the actions of the racist black Israelites? Why were the Christians portrayed as the bad guys, but the black censored were ignored? Are you starting to feel vaguely uncomfortable? Why is that? Why does defending white Christians and calling out the racism of an Indian and the black Israelites make everyone uncomfortable? Because the media has been brainwashing you your entire life. Why do you think they talk about white privilege but ignore black, Chinese, censored, and Latino privilege? Are your almonds getting activated yet? Why does the media blast the, people from World War II so much and fascism nonstop, but ignores the much greater threat of communism? Why are all the World War II movies focused on the Germans while the Italians and Japanese are all but ignored? Doesn't that seem a bit odd to you? Why is World War II covered so extensively, but the brutal Eastern European, Russian, Chinese prison camps are absolutely ignored? Why does Hollywood completely ignore the communist slaughter in the Ukraine? Doesn't that seem very odd? Why does the media only focus on an anti-European agenda? Why does the media keep repeating that diversity is our strength, when clearly the opposite is true? We know diversity is weakness. Why is the media lying to us? Why do the censored control the media? Social media and colleges. Not only the colleges, but they write the books made for high school and grammar schools. Over the years and decades, the history slowly but surely changed as the censored get more and more power. The censored control or fund the ADL, SPLC, the ACLU, and CAR. They also fund black power groups, brown power groups, and Antifa. Yes, the censored control Antifa. The Antifa kids are just puppets. The puppet masters are groups like Soros. I'm not sure exactly what I can say or what I can't say because YouTube won't tell us the rules. They just take videos down and issue strikes against our channels. Thanks, guys. They not only control the adult film industry, but more importantly, they fund the lawyers to fight to get the stores in neighborhoods into the hands of your children. They get degenerate education materials into schools, telling the white kids that being gay and trans is the way to go. They get men in dresses to read to children. Why do you think they're doing this? Are your almonds getting activated yet? Are you starting to wake up from your bread and circuses? The censored try to get churches taken down and replaced with mosques. They push for feminism and welfare, so marriage is unnecessary. But the censored kids aren't gay or single moms. They aren't giving up their culture, but you're racist if you don't give up yours. Why do you think advertisers only show blonde European women with African men? Why don't the media show a black Muslim woman with a Jewish guy? Why don't they show a Chinese and a Mexican? Why is it only blonde women and African men? Don't you think that's a little unusual? When they show burglars in ski masks, why do they always show white skin? In case you don't know, when you account for percentage of race, or even if you don't account for it, the people of the light are the least likely to do home invasions. Why do TV shows and comic books always show the bad guys are blonde and guys? Isn't that racist and sexist? Why are they always violent far-right groups? Antifa is a far-left communist group that routinely attacks Christians, and most violent crime is by Africans or Latinos, not European Americans. And yet the media always shows blonde nationalist groups as the problem. Why do you think that is? Are there some bad Christians out there? Yes, of course there are. But there are more bad Muslims and censored than there are Christians. Doesn't it seem odd that they get ignored? Global terrorism is overwhelmingly Islamic, so why does the media ignore it? Why does the media refuse to investigate the organizations that fund the open borders groups? We know who paid for the trucks that brought the Guatemalans to Mexico to break into America. We know who paid for it because the alt media covered it. The alt media filmed the open borders volunteers, the people who were coaching the Guatemalans to lie to sneak into America. But the mainstream media ignored the story. Why? Because the same people who control the media were paying for the trucks and the open borders volunteers. Are your almonds activated yet? Are you starting to see the elephant in the room? The elephant, and the media refuses to acknowledge because the media is part of the elephant. And finally, to the punchline, of course, the censored Pakistanis, Somalis all vote Democrats. These second and third worlders vote for Gibbs. They don't want to work, they want welfare that the Euro-Americans pay for. But when it's mentioned, the globalists call them racist. The irony is that the censored are the most racist group on earth. There's no diversity in their families. They only marry each other. Their daughters don't marry black guys because they aren't even allowed to hang out with them. Finally, some of the people of the light have said enough. The Euro-Americans are barely half of the country. The entire Southwest and much of the South has been substituted. The Euro-Americans with immigrants. Demographics is destiny. The numbers don't lie. America is almost turned into that country south of the border that I can't mention. The media has been lying to you this whole time. So you have the rise of those frog creatures that start with a G. They are asking how trans kids are good for America. Is Charlie Kirk America first, or a certain country in the Middle East that I can't mention first? Why are we bringing in immigrants who vote for Democrats? Why are we allowing the censored to substitute us? How come nobody is addressing the obvious elephant in the room? Why does a certain one-eyed politician refuse to answer certain questions about a Middle Eastern country that can't be named? Doesn't it seem odd that American politicians can't tell you if he's more loyal to America or a Middle Eastern country? If that doesn't shock you, then nothing will. The Groypers know that immigration is destroying America. So why do the mainstream Charlie Kirks have no problem with legal immigration? It doesn't matter if they are legal or not. They all vote for Democrats. They want to vote themselves free Gibbs. They will bankrupt the system, but they don't care. They come from a third world hellhole themselves. If they knew how to run a good country, they would stay in their homelands and make it great. But they can't. The third world is less than perfect because of the people. The people make the nation. Like, comment, and subscribe, or if you hate this topic, don't. Yeah, I will see you next episode, unless they take me off YouTube, in which case I will see you on an alternative video sharing platform. Alright, guys.